contradictions and hints of fabrication in the police report. The key statements in the police report wrote by Officer Gebhardt, page 2, line 7, pasted below, states, the subject identified himself as Philip Sanders and presented a California ID. Brief note, I gave ID to Officer Kazarin, not Gebhardt. The video will deem this fact. So when the report states presented California ID, what officer is talking and asking for ID? The police report that Officer Gebhardt wrote states, I presented California ID, and the tape will show Kazarin saying thank you when I gave him my ID. Next, on page 2, line 8 states, while speaking with Sanders, brief note, only Officer Kazarin spoke to me in the vehicle, not Officer Gebhardt. The video will deem that. Next, same page, line 8 through 11, makes it seem as if Officer Gebhardt was speaking to me while in the car, when he was not. The video shows Officer Kazarin speaking to me, deeming this part of the report is fabricated. Most stops, one officer approaches while the other officer stays back guard. Nevertheless, the statement, while speaking with Sanders, I observed that he was sweating profusely, looking around nervously, and not concentrating on what was being asked of him. I recognize this type of behavior as someone who is trying to conceal something from law enforcement detection. But on the next line, Officer Kazarin asked Sanders to exit the vehicle. Brief note, if Officer Gebhardt is speaking to me, as indicated on line 8 through 11, why is Officer Kazarin asking me to exit the vehicle on line 12? Note, I asked Officer Kazarin, could I get out of the vehicle, and he said, no, you may not. The video will deem that fact. Next, on line 15, it states that Officer Kazarin placed Sanders in the back of the police patrol car while we continued their investigation. But on line 18 on that same page, it says, while assisting in completing an inventory search. Brief note, these are two contradicting statements. Was this a search for a drug search, or was this an inventory search? Closing, why didn't they just test me and the alleged drugs properly? Very odd.